The following is a Comfortably Zoned Radio Network production.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of MARC and MARC in the Midday. We've got our superest of super fans with us again today, Mr. Jerry Hollis, Cardinal Nation's number one guy as far as I'm concerned, man who knows everything there is to know about barbecue, and a guy who can carry a tune with the best of them, I'll tell you that. Jerry, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate y'all. Well, I can tell you one thing. This is the other Mark, and this is the Mark that lives next door, or lived next door to Jerry down there, because we were just one town apart, Gideon and Clarkton, and Jerry lives out there about a mile west of the highway next to Stanfield Church, where I've been many times. And the one thing is the Boot Hill's the Boot Hill, and I think Mark from New York can actually attest the strawberries barbecue sauce being what it is supposed to be. You say you did try that, Mark?
Oh yeah, but we got to go back in the story because Jerry and I were talking about it probably about a month ago, and he said that they were going out to Strawberry for dinner, and he said that he was going to get me the barbecue sauce and the basting stuff, and I was like, okay, that sounds cool. It arrived, and when it arrived in the mail, I told him I got it. He said, well, you're firing up the grill? I said, well, we got up to 72-degree day here in New York City in February. Sure as heck I'm throwing on the grill. And I went and did it and fired up the grill, some chicken. We did some tuna steaks, and so I threw it in some hamburgers too. And even my father-in-law was like the biggest doubter. If he didn't cook it and it's not his gravy or whatever, he doesn't want it. But he kept taking pieces from my plate. He goes, this is pretty good. So, Jerry, you made a big hit with everyone.
Yep. Well, Mr. Strawberry, like I said, he's cooked for me a lot down through the years. But he's Grand Champion, which you could probably read on the bottle, but he's been Grand Champion down at Memphis. They have this big barbecue cookout down there at Memphis, somebody, and he was Grand Champion in pork steak category. And I think maybe the ribs. I'm not positive about that, but I know he was Grand Champion in pork steak a couple of times. So yeah, he knows the stuff for sure.
How about Cardinal baseball yesterday? Who won in the spring training game, Jerry?
Man, honestly, I hate to let Cardinal Nation down, but I had such a bad day yesterday that I wasn't even able to get the score. But I've been keeping up with other young guns as far as pitching and everything, and I've done a good thing. Probably, I think, with French training with me, it's not so much score because you only see these guys in an inning or two. They're in and out, and not so much concerned about the score. You're concerned about, did this guy do this or did this guy do this, and what's his speed and what's his, how does curveball look and all that kind of stuff. And so that's more what I've been concentrating on, not so much the score. But our offense is really good too. We got our outfield boys been putting on a show as far as hitting.
Well, sounds good. See if you can move the phone just a little bit closer. We're getting a little static in there, but I got another question. But this one's from Cardinal Nation in particular, and they've got two questions. They said, what was your favorite moment? At a game or about a player or a fan you was with watching a game. That's the first question. Go ahead and answer that one for me.
Okay. Well, I will tell you, first of all, I'll tell you a really funny story.
Yeah.
I can't remember how old was I when me and Granny was rooting for.
When I was running, I don't probably 3.
Okay. My mom was telling me this story, and I barely remember it, but I was probably like 3 years old. And we went to a game in July, and my aunt, she's passed away now. She didn't know anything about baseball. She didn't even really care about baseball. She just was there she just somehow ended up going more. She ended up going more or less as a babysitter for me, I think, to help Mom take care of me because she babysitted me through the week. Anyway, we all went to the baseball game, and she started scoring, and my uncle was a diehard Cardinal fan. I mean, he was all about baseball. He watched every baseball game, and he was there, and he was into the game rooting for the Cardinals. Well, my aunt was rooting for whoever scored, and I want to say we were playing the Mets. So there's your part of this story, Mark.
So that means you're probably beating the Mets. Yeah,
but my aunt would score anytime anybody would score a run. Well, the Mets scored a couple of runs, and my aunt's sitting there jumping up and down, hollering. Well, my uncle's sitting there grabbing her by the shirt of the collar, telling her to sit down. Well, I'm 3 years old. Well, I started doing it. My aunt got me started doing it. So I would score anytime anybody would score, I would jump up and start yelling. Man, my uncle got really frustrated with me and my aunt that day, but that was the last time I rooted for any team other than Cardinals. So that's kind of a little bit funny story that I remember. I was.
Go ahead.
Another one was I was there during the year McGuire was chasing the home run record. We got to see him hit a home run. We were there 2 days before he broke the record.
Wow.
And so man, that was a big thrill because that stadium was so electric. I mean, it was weird because when the Cardinals didn't have a very good year that year, other than the fact that McGuire was chasing the record, that was our World Series that year. Because that's basically what we had to cheer for because our team wasn't that great. But anyway, it was funny because when McGuire was batting, there wasn't the whole stadium was full. If anybody wanted to take a photograph picture of Cardinal Nation, they should have took it right then because when McGuire was at bat, everybody was there. And then after he batted, that's when everybody went to the bathroom in the concession stand and waited for him to come back to bat again. But yeah, we were there and got to see him hit 2 days before he got the title.
Yeah, that's a big time moment. Here's another question they got for you, Jerry, is who would you sit with or who would you want to be around just to talk baseball? Just if you one-on-one with anybody, who would you want to do that with?
Oh, that's easy. Stan the Man.
There you go. Yeah.
Everybody in which I will commend Pujols on, the whole El Hombre thing. He didn't want to be called, he didn't want to be recognized as that because in his nation it meant the same thing as the man. And then he's like, no, Stan's the man when it comes to the Cardinal Nation. So I'll always commend Pujols for that because he didn't want to be put in the same category as Stan the Man because he's really not in my book.
Right.
Yeah, he had some good years, but when you look at what Musial did for the Cardinals and still do. You ask anybody, you can ask a total stranger, somewhere in a far off country when, if they know anything about Cardinal baseball, you ask them what they think about Cardinal baseball, they will say Stan the Man. Guarantee it.
Well, I think it's unique that the Cardinals only have Stan Musial's bronze statue up, and every other ballpark has 2 or 3 or 5 or 6 up. And it pretty much rests on.
We've added a bunch since they built the new part.
Jerry, that's analytics now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, Derek, you know how Stan the Man got his nickname, right?
Why don't you refresh me on that?
I will definitely refresh you. It happened sometime in the 1940s in Brooklyn, New York, at Ebbets Field, where he had one of his 3-for-4 games where 1 or 2 home runs and a ton of RBIs, and the Brooklyn fans said, "Oh, it's that man again."
Ha.
And so they gave him the nickname the Man, because to them, he was the man, and he was someone they dreaded to face, but they respected him.
Huh.
Right.
I didn't know that either.
Well, during
That's why we got Mark over there. He's the big guy in this whole show.
Right.
So,
well, they say during the back when they had the gas house game, they said there wasn't. So they had a lineup where you couldn't pass anybody up. They said it didn't matter, whether it was the leadoff man or the number 9 hitter. So you didn't want to face any of them.
right. Yeah. Well, they had Tepper Martin and a whole bunch of guys back then, that
right.
Cardinal legacy, that Cardinal history, the Brown, the St. Louis Browns, that's part of the history on how you
right.
couldn't have those 2 teams in the same city, really, because it couldn't support, two teams.
Right.
Well, they shared the same ballpark.
That's right.
Right.
They did.
Yeah.
It was like a battle of the haves and the have-nots. I mean, the Browns won 1 pennant in their whole time frame of playing in St. Louis, and the Cardinals they've got the most pennants and the most world championships of any National League team. So total have and have-nots, to be honest.
Yeah.
And the Browns did better once they moved to Baltimore.
Yeah. Well, it always, as far another thing that amazes me about the Cardinals is, like, and I mentioned it in my first interview, it doesn't matter if we're 15 games above 500, if we're at 500, or if we're below 500. If you go there on any given night, we will always have at least 40,000 people.
Yep.
At the game.
Jerry,
I'm talking about even through the week.
We hear from all the experts. They always say the pundits when it comes to baseball. They say the Cardinal fan is the most knowledgeable, the most dedicated fan, and they don't normally boo the players. What makes the Cardinal fan that much different than the fan in New York or Chicago or LA or Atlanta?
Yeah, that is true. And they're just, Cardinal fans are baseball fans in general. They like to go see baseball. That's what they know and that's what they love. They want to go see baseball.
Yep.
They're
knowledgeable. I know that most Cardinal fans are very knowledgeable of not only the Cardinals but of other teams.
Right.
So,
exactly. They, when the Rams were here, we supported. We tried to support the Rams. I mean, they had a few good seasons. They won 1 Super Bowl while they were here. But St. Louis is a baseball town.
Yeah, that's true.
Baseball. And they've got the Blues. The Blues have done really good, and they support the Blues. The Blues are packed out quite a few nights. But there's just nothing like going to a Cardinal game.
Hey Jerry, I got a question for you. So you've thought about this, I know. Who is going to be the closer this year? There's about 5 of them I got in mind, but what do you think is going to happen here?
Oh gosh.
Flip coins or what? Committee, go by committee or flip coins or?
Yeah. Well, I really thought Mojito would be. I really thought that they would bring him to spring training and give him some work, but they haven't even mentioned his name, which he signed a minor league. He signed a minor league deal, but they really said too much about it. I really liked that dude though when he was pitching here. I haven't seen him pitch this year. but I don't know. It's a toss up right now because they've been playing it by committee. That's what they've done so far. So I don't know if that's how they're going to start out or not. Waiting for somebody to emerge that wants the job, I guess. You know, it could be Bud Norton, it could be Gregerson. You know, at first I think they were counting on Gregerson. But you know, I don't know what he's going to do.
Yeah.
But that Jordan Hicks has been throwing nothing but shit. That dude hit 104 the other day.
Right. Yeah.
So I mean, he can throw. I mean, he can throw.
Well, he came in the game.
It's just
those
a matter
kind of
of
guys.
Just a matter of getting his control.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know, sometimes you throw a young kid out there, you know, and I remember myself. I mean, they threw me in that closer role real quick, and I responded. And you know, they haven't seen that arm and that, you know, and so you don't overuse him, and you don't overextend him, and you don't show him too much. You know, he's liable to go out there and do some real damage for about 60 games.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Just
And
out there
they
and
might
go
still,
for it.
yeah, I should say they may still find them. They might, you know, they might even end up trading for a closer the first part of the year. See where they may be going to sit back and see where we're at during the trade deadline.
Yeah.
You know, for the All-Star game. It just depends because I don't think the Cardinals really start getting, you know, just about any of the National League East teams can hang on in the first half of the season. Because I don't say they're evenly matched. When I say evenly matched, I'm talking about the top three teams being the Brewers and the Cardinals and the Cubs.
Right.
No disrespect to Cincinnati and you know, no disrespect to them, but they're not going to be there.
Right. Good point.
I think
they just don't have they don't have the guns. You know, Pittsburgh's got rid of a bunch of people and Philly, not Philly, but Cincinnati's still in the same boat. They're still trying to rebuild. They've been in rebuild mode for a couple of years.
Hey, Jared, do you think Milwaukee realistically has a chance? I know they made a nice run last year, but came up short.
Yeah. Like I said, I think I'm not going to judge our season until it gets closer to the All-Star game. I think by then everything will be set and we'll know who's got what and who's going to do what. And because that's been the pattern the last few years. You know, those three, it's going to be a shuttle between those three. And that's how it's been the last 3 years. You know, everybody last year at the All-Star game thought, you know, it's Milwaukee's to lose because they were way ahead and they had a phenomenal first half.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were winning a bunch of ball games and everybody's like, okay, it's Milwaukee's year this year. Well, then the tires went flat on their wagon and the Cardinals took over for a little bit and looked like we were going to do okay. And then the same thing happened to us, and then here comes the Cubs. You know, and then once they finally took over, then they kept it, and I think that's the way it's going to be this year. You know, they're going to joggle back and forth until after the All-Star break, and then around the middle of August, we'll know who's gonna do what.
Well, I hope for Mike Matheny's sake that they get off to a good start because his job could be in jeopardy if they don't.
Exactly, and he's a good dude. I'd hate to see him go because he is a good dude. And last year, you know, you can only put out there what they give you, you know. And I thought he was crippled a little bit last year in the bullpen. But we went out and got a bunch of pitchers. Yeah, they're not all-star pitchers. They're not You know, they're not an area. They're not a, you know, they're not a Holland. They're not a, you know, what. We got some pitchers that in the past have been reliable. They can throw strikes.
Yeah.
You know, that was our problem last year. We couldn't throw strikes.
Yeah.
Come in and walk the base. Come in and walk the bases loaded, and you know, then when you're pitching all the time, when you're bringing a guy over, especially a young guy, which was the case most of the time with the Cardinals, when you're bringing in a rookie or a sophomore or a guy who hasn't pitched in the league very much, when you're bringing him in and he's already got 2 men on base or 3 men on base and 1 out or nobody out, you've already got him pitching with 1 hand behind his back. You know, and that's hard to do. And we found ourselves in that situation a lot last year. And that's what I want to avoid is you know, we put ourselves behind the 8 ball before these guys ever have a chance. You know, and then they do that. They blow 2, 3, 4 games in a row, and that's all I'll send them guys down to the minors. These guys are junk. They can't pitch.
Jerry.
That's unfair to me.
Hey, Jerry.
Yes.
I heard you
yes,
living high on the hog last night, Southern Boy cooking with, you had chicken and dumplings, which is my favorite. You know, I'm not going to, but your mom, Julie, she cooked you up some chicken and dumplings, I heard. Was it good as it sounded over the phone?
Yeah, actually, it was my aunt that did that. My aunt had been wanting to do something for me, and she asked me, you know, what I could eat, and I told her chicken and dumplings, and so yeah, I had chicken and dumplings last night, and actually she fixed them a couple of nights ago, and I laid on them 2, 3, 4 times, and I finished up the bowl last night. So yeah, I'm all about some chicken and dumplings, boy.
Well, I heard you had chocolate gravy in the morning. The other Southern Boys thing that we like down there.
Yes, sir. My mama makes the best chocolate gravy in the world.
All right.
I will put her.
Time out, gentlemen. Someone got to explain to me what chocolate gravy is, because it sounds really good.
Oh man, it's chocolate gravy and some butter and some biscuits and.
Biscuits.
I'm a happy camper.
Yeah,
I definitely am. You could probably, matter of fact, I could probably put that on my tombstone. Died from eating too much chocolate gravy. That's how much I like it.
Oh man. Yeah, I like all that good stuff. Unfortunately, I got too many pig ribs in my arteries right now, so whatever.
Oh yeah. Well, my mom's right here beside me, and she appreciates everything that y'all have done for me, and she wants to thank all the Cardinal Nation for their prayers and all that stuff. And
put Julie on. Put Julie on.
She's nervous about it, but I want to put her on because she's been a big part of my life, and I want to give her some credit too. So I'm going to let you talk to her for just a second.
Sounds good. Hey, Julie.
Yes.
It's Mark. Yeah, you've been hearing the whole interview, obviously, and you know it's a treat to have Jerry on because he's a big baseball fan, but he's a bigger Cardinal fan, and you know the Cardinal Nation has some stuff for him this morning, some questions, and I know it's been hard on you and everybody else, but you know Jerry's been a real trooper through this whole thing and this whole ordeal, and I was so glad that I got to meet you and everybody there, and you know come and visit Jerry. But you know it's you know we're glad to have you, Julie, and you know be part of this thing and on the radio here. So.
I'm glad to be here, and I'm just so thankful for everything you've done for Jerry. It's really lifted his spirits and helped him to get through these last few weeks, and he's really been excited about it, and he's always excited about Cardinal baseball. We've watched it for a long time, and when I married his dad, we were living and working in Michigan, but we come down here to get married because my father was ill and couldn't come up there. So we came down here and got married, and I had some friends that lived in St. Louis, and mine and his dad's honeymoon was going to St. Louis and sitting through a double header, and we were on Saturday night to a regular game, and then went back Sunday to a double header, and then headed back to Michigan the next day.
I'll be. Well, that's Cardinal red right there. That's bleeding some red. That's for sure. That's wearing Redbirds on that bat across your chest right there. That's true. Yeah.
Well, we love
sure.
We love the Cardinals.
Mark, I know Mark on the other end. He shot some pictures over to Jerry of New York, and I just saw those this morning, really, and I thought, man, that was great. That's New York,
Yeah, I saw those. That was nice of him. I said, I appreciate everything that y'all have done. You've really, really made a difference. You've lifted his spirits, and he's spread the Cardinal baseball all through his Facebook and stuff. But we appreciate y'all and appreciate your prayers, and we love you all.
You too, Julie. You too.
Hey, Jerry, I hope I didn't make you dizzy or anything when you were following that video of me driving all through New York City yesterday.
Oh, no, I haven't seen the video yet. I just saw the pictures. Here, I'll give you back to Jerry.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Julie.
Bye, Julie.
She said thank you very much.
Yes. Well, you think we ought to do a closer thing here, one of these things where I come on, Jerry, and close this sucker out,
Sure.
All right. What do you think, Mark? Is it closer time here for me to come in and do dirty work?
I definitely think it's time for the closer, but we might want to go with like a righty specialist just before we go to the closer. So let Jerry say goodbye to the fans first, and then
you betcha.
We'll go to the closer to close it out.
You bet.
I can do that.
Have at it, Jerry.
And from the bottom of my heart, I just want to again thank everybody that's listening to the program, and friends of Mark and Mark's on their personal pages, and just everybody that said a prayer or had a thought or anything about me. I really appreciate it. So after yesterday, getting the word, I don't know how many days I have left, but I'm going to make them good ones, and I again want to thank y'all for all the prayers. I'm going to turn it back over to y'all.
Thanks, Jerry. Jerry, I'm so fortunate to have met you, and Mark, we've had such a wonderful time, and it's not to say we won't anymore, but I'm just saying you've been, I know, a trooper through this whole ordeal, and the fun thing that you've brought to me here is you're upbeat about Cardinal baseball, and you can definitely talk it with anybody, and you might, like you said, you just might have missed your calling, but the funny thing is that we've enjoyed every dang moment with you, Jerry, and giving us those tidbits and stuff, and I'm gonna we'll keep all this in mind and everything. But as I close this thing out, Jerry, you know how it goes. You throw peas at the knees, no pies in the eyes, no wall balls, and you'll be just fine. Have a good one.
You too, Bo.
Okay.
I love y'all.
Jerry. I love you, Jerry.